Welcome back. Today we're doing two videos because Legends of Runeterra came out on Friday and I played that for way too long, so I'm getting around to catching up with all my videos. So ID Invaded episode 5. Let's just jump into it. Okay, so episode 5 of ID Invaded pretty much picks up where it left off with Handamoshi, the detective that got drilled through her head by the perforator. She meets Kasuta and, he kisses her and, pretty much he just runs away. And of course, that was kind of weird. That was kind of strange. What was the point of that? And in this episode, we find out. And let me tell you, it's a great surprise that we get. Now, kind of Handamoshi is like the brains behind everything in this episode, right? Like, yes, we did get to see our main character, Sakaido, whenever he went into the well, but Handamoshi was the one that figured out that due to the, drill that the perforator made in Kasuta's head, that he could have brain damage, and that's why they're not picking up on the like the urges to kill, like the particles that the little gun picks up. So she thinks of that, and that's how they figure out who the killers are and what to do. So that tells you that Handamoshi, just because she's young, she said she was 23, she's not like dumb or she doesn't know what's going on. She's actually really smart. She knows what's going on and she can actually think. I might be, thinking that she might be going into the well, because remember, I think episode 3, when, she was in the hospital, she kind of like said, could I be one of those people that goes into the wells and does what Sakaido is doing right now? Of course, we know that, not only do you have to have a high IQ, you got to have like, your mind state has to be like up there, because the perforator, the killer, when he tried to do what Sakaido did, go into the well, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it for as long as Sakaido did it. So, you gotta have some strong mental strength and you gotta be smart. Now, we know this Handamoshi from everything she deduced this episode, she's smart. She's got that department down. Now, the question is, does she have the mental strength to do what Sakaido does? And we're gonna probably find out in the future. I don't think she's gonna be getting into the well. I think that's gonna be Sakaido's only thing throughout the whole anime. But I could be surprised, right? I could be surprised. So we actually learned who the gold digger killer is. Remember, from the last episode, we had a copycat, and that's why Kasuta was kind of seeing what was going on, because he knew that wasn't the real one. Because Kasuta, the guy with the hole, he knows who the real Gravedigger killer is, and it's a woman, which is supposed to be like his girlfriend, like she's in love with him. And Handamoshi, of course, figures this out, but just the way she was acting, like I knew there was something wrong with her, like Kasuta's girlfriend or whatever. Like, she was kind of weird. She was like, you just have that vibe when you see like an anime character and they're like the bad guy. And she was definitely giving off those vibes. Like, she was too nice. She was talking to Handamoshi, like, like looking down on her and stuff like that. And, she didn't know who she was messing with. Handamoshi pretty much called her out, like, yo, I know you're lying about being his girlfriend. I know that you love him. And I know now that you're the real Gravedigger killer. And remember, the way the Gravedigger killer kills, they kidnap somebody. And I'm guessing Kasuta was the one doing this. That's why there wasn't no particles, because, the brain damage wasn't leaving any. He was associating, like, kissing somebody. He was associating, like, love as killing somebody. That's why when he kissed Handamoshi last episode, it was really him kind of saying, I want to kill you. But since he was caught by surprise, he really, didn't know how to react, again, because of the brain damage he had because of the drill in his head. Now, speaking of the hole, right, I'm thinking, what if all those people with the holes are kind of connected, right? Because coincidence that the perforator, the first guy that was drilling the holes, okay, he was caught, and we know he's the bad guy. And when we went into his well on episode 1, we see the character John Walker. Now, we don't know who this person is, and I gotta tell you, he's definitely the main villain, and I'm definitely want to know more about him, because I don't know how he's getting into all these wells, right? I thought only the police could do that through the little machine that Sakaido is using, like the VR machine or whatever. So does that mean he has his own and he found his own particles to go into? Like, how is he getting into the wells? I can't wait till they explain that, and I can't wait till we actually meet the character face to face. Because, you know, we got the hint from episode 1 that John Walker is the one that's actually pretty much running everything behind the scenes. So that tells me that, you know, he's going to be a very important character in the future. And now also something that caught my eye, and of course, this is all theory right now, but the perforator, the original killer that was drilling holes into people's heads, you know, he said that not everybody's holes is the same. So I'm wondering if this is some kind of test, right? Because is it a coincidence that the perforator has a hole and he's a killer or a murderer? Kasuta has a hole and he's also a murderer. Maybe Kasuta's girlfriend also has one of them holes, and you know her hair is conveniently covering that side of her forehead. Maybe she has a hole and that's why she's also killing. Maybe this is everything like a test for John Walker to pick out like his like people that he's gonna mentor into becoming murderers and doing all these killings. Maybe that's the connection. I don't know. I'm just, you know, thinking out loud, making some theories up, but that could be it. Maybe Handamoshi might go into like the other side and become a murderer herself. Like John Walker, he could be like the counter to Sakaido, right? Just how Sakaido can talk somebody into committing suicide. Maybe John Walker character, right? He can talk other people into becoming murderers, right? Because you got to think, if there's a strong hero character, right? Sakaido, which I don't think he's quite a hero, because I mean, this dude, he's definitely been into dark places. His state of mind is definitely dark. He's not the hero that we all think he is, right? Like, he's actually convincing people to kill themselves. Now, granted, yeah, they're bad guys, but he's still convincing them to kill themselves. That's pretty much like murder in itself, right? Like, come on. But maybe this John Walker character can do that with other characters, and maybe the whole hole in the head is something that he makes people go through to find out like worthy candidates for his program. Maybe I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens in the future. And you know, the episode definitely ended with a cliffhanger. Now Sakaido in the well, he kind of figured everything out pretty fast, and that's when we see that John Walker cutting up this other victim. And they kind of got into a little scuffle. Like, you know, the animation on that scene was really great, because even though this is not like a fighting, high action shonen kind of anime, you know, for that split, it was 10 seconds, but I thought it was a hype moment. I was all in. I loved it. And, you know, you can see this John Walker, man, this dude is brutal. He cut the dude up in pieces. And now, every time we go into a well, there's always something similar with all like the people in there, right? Like, let's call them NPCs. They're all kind of like dumbed down. At least the victims, they're all kind of like loopy. They don't know exactly where they're at. They don't understand what's going on. But this John Walker person, right? Not only do we not know how he gets in there, but the way he acts, like he knows what he's doing. Because when Sakaido kind of threw the vase at him and he, you know, dodged it and they started throwing punches and stuff like that and got away. You know, that to me seems like there's a conscious person in there. And now, the reason why I think, you know, he's behind everything is because he could probably be collecting all the particles. Heck, he could even be an inside man. He could be one of the police guys that's next to Sakaido right now and, you know, pretty much directing everything. That's how he's collecting the particles, right? Maybe. I don't know. Crazy. Can't wait to find out. Now, another cool part of this episode was when they went to the Kasuta residence, and we actually confirmed that Handamoshi's theory is correct. Like, due to the brain damage that Kasuta has, that's why they can't pick up any like urge to kill particles and to create the well. That's why it's been so difficult to find this Gravedigger killer. But you know, the whole house was booby trapped, and they thought the victims were still inside this big like caskets or, you know, whatever. But nah, it was full of gasoline. And, you know, he killed, I would say, what, like maybe like 4 or 5 people in that whole explosion, the way Kasuta had it set up. So, and again, they didn't pick up any particles, so they were kind of confused by it. So definitely insane amount of like plot twist going on in here, because nobody would have seen that coming. Now, of course, the episode left with Handamoshi and the old guy confronting Kasuta's girlfriend, who's the real Gravedigger. And that was kind of like a cliffhanger, because we see Kasuta is in the house and he's got a knife. Now, you know what they say, don't bring a knife into a gunfight, because, you know, Handamoshi's got her gun pulled out and pointing at, I think her name was Ima, Kasuta's girlfriend. And she seems calm, she's not worried, so she's definitely got something up her sleeve. So we're just gonna have to wait till the next episode. Another great episode from ID Invaded. I can't wait to the next episode. So like always, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a like, let me know your thoughts on this episode, and I will see you on the next episode.